This past year really stretched me in ways I didn't even see coming in business and motherhood. And it taught me who I thought I had to be to make things work. And as I head into 2026, I'm not chasing anymore. I'm just really choosing better. So let's talk about what 2025 actually taught me and how it's shaping what comes next for me, my family, Monarch Design Co., and this podcast. Welcome to the Self-Made Life Podcast, the show for creative entrepreneurs who are building their dream business and life on their terms. I'm your host, Ashley Wyatt, designer, entrepreneur, mama of two, and founder of the Monarch Design Co. And I believe success isn't handed to you, you create it. Here, we're pulling back the curtain on what it really takes to run a business, the wins, the lessons, and the messy in between. Whether you're scaling your side hustle during nap time, redefining your brand, or ready to take your business full time, this show is your go-to for honest conversations, practical strategies, and inspiration to help you grow with confidence. Because being self-made isn't about doing it alone. It's about building a life and business that feels as good as it looks. So let's dive in. Hey friends, welcome back to the Self-Made Life Podcast. Welcome to 2026. And if you're new here, I'm Ashley. I'm a brand and web designer, creative director, and mom of two, building a business in real life seasons, not perfect ones. I have two under two, and it is very, very busy. So I'm finally just sitting down. It is the beginning of January, and what a crazy ride 2025 was. So today's episode is a little different. It is part of my reflection of the past year. It's part reset, and it's part looking ahead on my goals and what I am building next. So I wanted to walk you through what 2025 looked like behind the scenes, the highs, the lows, the hard parts, the rebuild. And then I want to share what's really changing and shifting in 2026 and why it feels like it just feels like the most grounded direction I've taken yet. And if we look at last year, and I know that we're not technically finishing the Lunar New Year, so that I think changes on February 16th. But 2025 was the year of the snake and was all about shedding and learning and growing and picking apart what no longer serves you. But yeah, looking into 2026, the year of the horse, and in astrology, Pisces and Virgo are promised to have a really good year. And I'm a Pisces, so I am totally here for that. So I'd love to know what your astrological sign is. If 2026 is your year, would love to know. But yeah, I am going to take you through what the next chapter is going to look like. So looking back at 2025, it really was not a year of growth at all costs. I welcomed baby girl number 2. She was born in March. I was the sole income provider for my family for half of that year. I was postpartum, dealing with postpartum anxiety and depression that really just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was not expecting that. I didn't have it nearly as bad, if at all, with my first. And I think just everything that was going on situationally, it just kind of hit harder. But I wouldn't change it for anything because 2025 brought us our baby girl and really completed our family. And it taught me what was no longer serving me and really has set me up for changes and much needed changes, especially looking back on 2 back-to-back maternity leaves with my business and I'm like, it just was not sustainable the first time around. Second time around, I mean, it was, but wasn't because of different situations. Tax hiccups, just like a slower summer, being home, juggling both kids, my husband then going back to work and commuting, and ultimately just like not having enough hours in the day to commit to my business, and not yet being at a profitable place to bring on as much team support as I wanted to. So that is something huge that is changing in 2026 as Monarch Design Co. shifts more into a micro agency model, which I'm really excited for, because that also means that I get to support my clients in a really big and impactful way, but also supporting other entrepreneurs, subcontractors, and just providing more value to our clients with a more well-rounded team of experts. This year, I'm also leaning into better support with bookkeeping and accounting, and really knowing what my numbers look like. Last year, I just did not have the right support systems in place, and I ended up firing that bookkeeping team and hiring a Nora who has been amazing. And I'm so excited to share Nora's podcast episode with you guys soon. She is so knowledgeable and just so good at what she does. And she's truly a partner in my business, and just having me know like what is actually working and what's not, and just having a clear line in the sand with the numbers, so there's no surprises. So there's definitely moments of pride coming from 2025. It has taught me resilience like never before. I brought my then 3-week-old baby girl to a networking event, which kind of was the tipping point into coming back after my maternity leave, very short 3-week maternity leave, and just diving all in and just making shit happen because I had to. And I'm really proud of that. And yes, it was so hard. No, last year was not my best year yet, but honestly, it wasn't that bad, all things considered. So I'm just really proud at my resilience, my hard work, determination, rebuilding, trust, leaning into mindset shifts, and just setting myself up for a really strong 2026. I wasn't necessarily burnt out because I didn't love my work. I love what I do. It was more so finding those pockets of time and capacity where I could work, especially having 2 at home. And a huge turning point for me and my family was when my husband did go back to work. I was then able to bring on more support at home. So we hired a nanny. She still is working with us. She comes twice a week, and she is just the best. She was off for Christmas break, and we were home, and we had both of the kids home, and it was just total chaos because we were, I think, going a little bit stir crazy. We had so much snow, and my son was just home from preschool. That's another thing too. My son got into full-time preschool in September, which was a huge shift for our family too, because before he was at a daycare, and that daycare was costing us an arm and a leg. So he was only there twice a week, and that was really hard to manage. But now he is at a preschool, which is a subsidized program. And they're part of the $22 a day preschool program, which has been a godsend. And honestly, he has grown so much since going there too. Like, just developmentally, like his language and his independence and confidence has just like skyrocketed. And we've seen some really great positive shifts from that. So anyways, going back to the nanny, I felt like I had the biggest barrier with hiring on support, and I felt like a failure at the beginning. And something shifted when a business mentor of mine suggested that if I hired a nanny as a support, that I can somehow write that off as a business expense, which was a total game changer for me because like I can't work without it. And it's definitely something that is life-changing and helps me grow my business. So that's been a big help at home. She watches baby girl and I get some work done. And she also helps us keep up with the laundry, which is just never ending with 2 little humans and 2 adults. My kids are so messy, especially with Charlotte eating solids now. Like it's just insane. And helping with meal prepping. We're actually like eating. Not that we weren't before. I was just having such mental fatigue every night, figuring out what to make for dinner. And now she makes amazing meals. She makes big portions so that we can eat it for lunch and dinner and leftovers the next day. And we're able to freeze portions. And the nice thing is too, she actually like cooks up some veggies and she like blends them in and hides them, which is amazing, especially having a picky toddler. So even if you don't have little kids, I highly recommend hiring some support with meal prepping and around the house because it is just like life-changing. Another thing that I have been outsourcing this past year is grocery delivery, which is game changing. Like we do the Walmart delivery. I order the groceries the night before and they're at our door the next morning. And it's such a huge help, especially like with diapers, like big items that like I don't necessarily want to trek into the store with a toddler and a baby in the middle of winter because that is not fun. We all know how quicker things are without little ones tagging along. And this just like makes things so much easier. I can literally just like look at my fridge, see what I need, make down a list and order it on the app, and then it's here the next day. And it saves me so much time, especially when you're looking at like your time as value too. Don't get me wrong. I love a solo grocery shop. And sometimes I do that on the weekends still, because that's kind of like my time to get out of the house and just be alone. But it is a huge help, especially through the week. Are you an entrepreneur trying to grow your business and your family at the same time? Trust me, I've been there. 2 maternity leaves in 2 years, a design studio to run, and a dream that just won't quit. That's why I created my one-on-one mentorship sessions. These 60-minute strategy calls are designed for business owners like you who are navigating growth, motherhood, and everything in between. Whether you just need clarity around your offers, help planning your maternity leave, support building your team, or just a space to talk through what's actually working, I've got you. These sessions are $250 and they're already making waves with creatives who just need a fresh set of eyes and someone who gets it. Head on over to themonarchdesign.co/mentorship to book yours. Or just DM me mentor on Instagram at Monarch Design Co. You don't have to figure this season out alone. I wanted to share some lessons and things that I'm not taking forward into the next year. I have been struggling with systems for a very long time. If you've been here for a while, I was using HoneyBook for a long time. And then last year I switched over to Dubsado, and I've used so many programs, and I think ultimately I just needed something that would work for me, and it's not necessarily like a one size fits all. So right now, I'm just using my current systems because they're working. I don't need more ideas. I just need those containers that can hold what I need for now. And there is a new CRM system specifically for designers, Tazera, which I have got, but it's not quite there yet because it's still in beta. So I'm not touching that for now. I'm just going to use what I have and what's working. And in the future, I will explore that if needed. But I'm really just like stripping down my systems and cutting out all the fluff. Like, looking back at like what I used to do before, like it was insane what I did for each proposal and how much time I wasted. Now I've just kind of like bootstrapped things. It works for me. It works for my business and it works for my clients. So why reinvent the wheel? I also, lesson number 2 is being booked doesn't always mean being profitable. So I am really looking at this year with breathing room, because revenue without breathing room comes with a cost. So I'm not stressing out if, 1 month I have 1 client and the next month I have 6. I'm looking at things in quarter chunks and overall with that whole year in mind. Summer tends to be a little bit quieter for my business and many other businesses. We work with a lot of wedding pros, which that's like their busiest time. So it makes sense. But I'm looking at the year as a whole and not getting like stressed out, like, oh my God, I need to book a client like today. I'm just looking at everything as a whole. And in those slower seasons, I am working on visibility and marketing and knowing that that is also moving the needle forward in my business too. Because we also want to look at what we did 3 months ago, which is really forecasting where we are now. So if you are visible now for the next 3 months, then your next 3 months after that should pick up as well, from a marketing perspective. And lesson number 3 is clients don't need access to everything, and just really protecting your boundaries. So support doesn't mean availability 24/7. I am a firm believer of schedule sending emails and messages. With 2 little ones, sometimes the day goes sideways and I don't get to work until after bedtime, which means replying to emails late at night, which I don't want necessarily. So I'll just send it for the next morning, and I'm okay with that. And my clients are okay with that too, because I don't think anyone else really wants an email late at night too, right? Lesson number 4 is the identity shifts are allowed. I'm not the same designer that I was when I first started my business back in 2018, or even last year or 3 years ago. And it's not a problem. It just means that I have grown and I'm stepping into that next 2.0, 3.0, 5.0 version of myself and of my business. And I see it all the time with my clients too. Like, you are not the same person, business owner, as you were when you first started your business. You're allowed to outgrow and shift into that next version. And what's really helpful is branding and web design that supports that next chapter too. So at the end of 2025, it was time for me to do a refresh of Monarch and my branding, and really take a look at my messaging. I redid my website in 2024 before. So I've been updating it here and there, but what really shifted was the branding piece, which I'll be rolling out this year, which I'm really excited for. And it all started because I love ordering my clients personalized Yeti mugs. So if we work together on your branding, I love to put together a custom mug with your logo on it. It's just like a nice little cherry on top. And I send that out. And I really wanted one for myself with the juggle of taxi mom and in the car a lot in the morning and afternoons with pickups and drop-offs. I just needed something to carry my coffee in, and I wanted to elevate that for 2026. So I ordered myself one, and in that process, I was like, I really want to refresh Monarch branding, and I went through that same process that I take my clients through, and I'm really excited to share that next chapter of transformation and evolution with you. So looking into 2026, I actually joined Scale with Confidence, which is a program with Jen from Hello June Creative. I was looking at something that would help me take a step into the right direction of what I wanted to build my business and life and my life and business around, and just interacting with Jen and her podcast and everything she's doing and the micro agency model. It really spoke to me. She also has 2 young children. And I just needed something that was going to support me with someone who is actually living that reality and kind of like in the trenches with us. So, really excited for that. I just started it. So we'll let you know how that goes. But really just, it's not about fixing something that was broken. It's just really about like fine tuning what's next for my business and setting things up so that they are more profitable, more scalable, and ultimately bring more value to our clients more than ever before. In 2025, I was primarily solo in Monarch, and then shifted into bringing on team support again. And now I just want to grow that even more. But as we grow, I want to make sure that it's profitable and valuable for our clients and that everything is working together seamlessly. It really wasn't about learning how to build something from scratch. It's just really about rebuilding and fine tuning how that looks next. And I wanted clean offers. I wanted that predictable delivery, space for my team, a business that really just supports me in this season of motherhood, not competing with it, and also just ironing out all those kinks from the last 2.5 years of chaos of growing and building my business and my family at the same time. So that's really what is shifting for me in 2026. I am shifting away from solo and team into more of a micro agency model that is profitable and really ultimately supports our clients wholeheartedly moving forward. And when I say micro agency, I don't mean bigger, I mean better supported. I am shifting myself into more of a creative director role. I bring on trusted designers and specialists. I am bringing my vision into this along with their strategy and expertise to better support the client experience as a whole. And just having repeatable services that don't rely on overextension and over delivery. I don't want to be the bottleneck of my business anymore. And I really want to be that steward of the work, and just shifting this into this model is really going to protect the quality and my capacity and ultimately the results that we provide our clients. So really excited about those shifts. So yeah, that's what's changing in 2026. What's staying is we're still going to be high touch, thoughtful design. We're going to bring that strategy-led branding and websites to life. Still caring deeply about our clients and their outcomes. But what is changing is fewer scattered offers. So we're really streamlining things, clear flagship paths into working with us, more structured timelines, less reactive work. So we were doing a lot of VIP days and, I love the VIP day model, but we're going to be reserving that for past clients for small updates here and there. And we're actually going to be shifting into a 2-week intensive type of model. So 2 weeks for branding, 2 weeks for website. So essentially working with us over 1 month in our flagship offer will provide you with a solid brand and website, which is still an incredible timeline. We still want to keep our timelines tight so that we can keep the momentum going, but also get your brand and website out and into the world and working for you quicker. So no more drawn out timelines. I've never been a fan of drawn out timelines. When I first started, I thought that's what I needed to be successful, but it was actually the opposite. And I think that really comes from experience and just living through those experiences and seeing what works and what doesn't. 2026 isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right work in the right way, not reinventing the wheel, building smarter, not harder. And I'm just really blending life and business naturally. So fewer projects, stronger margins, especially with team support. I'm building a consistent pipeline without panic, building my team and one that I trust and who is there to support me and my clients, and becoming known for direction, not just designing. I love design, but sometimes I am the one who sees the bigger picture and I need someone to execute that. So that is why I'm bringing in more support with that. And ultimately, I know that there are other designers and illustrators and web developers that can do a better job than I can. So I really want to lead with direction and experience and have them execute. And with life goals, I want to be more present in the evenings. I want less mental load. I'm building a future that includes rest, not guilt. I am leaning into my hobbies. I picked up knitting again. I'm trying to finish my daughter's blanket. I've been trying to revive our sourdough starter. I just have not had the time and space to bake a loaf of bread yet. But yeah, ultimately, I want my kids to see a mom who's proud of her work and available to her life. And I want them to grow up seeing and knowing what's possible when you really put your mind to things and you can do anything and build your own empire. Closing on that, if you're listening to this and you feel like you're standing in a transition season too, one where, what worked before doesn't really fit anymore, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not behind, you're becoming more intentional. And that is something that I am definitely taking into 2026, and I want you to too. So sometimes growth doesn't look loud. It looks steady. It looks supported, and it looks like choosing sustainability over survival, and more isn't always better. So I hope this episode resonates. If it does, share it with a friend who's building something meaningful and full in their life. And if you want to follow along as I build differently in 2026, whether that's through the podcast, Instagram, or working together, I'm just really glad you're here. I'm so grateful to have this space in 2026. So thanks so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today on the Self-Made Life podcast. If you loved this episode, share it with a friend, leave a review, or hit follow so that you never miss an episode. Want to work together or grab some free resources? You can always find me over at www.themonarchdesign.co/podcast. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep building, and go create your self-made life.
This podcast is produced, mixed, and edited by Cardinal Studio. For more information about how to start your own podcast, please visit www.cardinalstudio.co or email Mike at mike@cardinalstudio.co. You can also find the details in the show notes.